Welcome back to the channel, y'all. In today's video, I want to talk to you about the 3 biggest gems that I have for people that are just starting their careers. This is maybe college grads or high school dropouts. If you're a young person and you're starting your career, I have some tips for you. Now, you might say, why would I take advice from a YouTuber? Great question, but here's the deal. I went to one of the best universities in the US. It took me a while to get there. I transferred in. Don't hate on the boy, but it's not about where you start, it's where you finish, you feel me? And here's the deal. After going through that, having the fancy college degree, I was talking to a friend recently, and my 10-year college reunion is coming up this year, which is insane because I feel like I just graduated. But now, after 10 years working office jobs in a cubicle, bartending, working temp jobs, having fancy jobs, having no jobs, being an entrepreneur, building a little business, now trying to be a creator in the creator economy. There are so many facets of the last 10 years that go into building whatever this thing is, whatever this career is of mine that I'm constructing, that I wish I had these gems when I just graduated, or at least when I was 10 years younger. And so that's what I want to do. I'm going to break this down into 3 main categories. I'll link all of those up below so that way you can kind of skip around, bop around if you want to. But some of the biggest, most potent ideas that I have around building a career and building a life you love in terms of leverage. My first piece of advice is try it first. Whether you want to be a doctor, lawyer, professional athlete, YouTuber, rapper, musician, doesn't really matter. Peek behind the scenes, find a way to at least get in there and try the job for a little bit. The biggest mistake that I made was I really wanted to be a rapper. I thought I would be signed to a major label and be the next Drake and be a rock star and everything would be fancy. And it wasn't until I actually started working in the music industry that I realized really quickly that there is BS to every single profession, and that I did not have what it took to be a major label artist. I learned that really quickly, and that would have saved me a lot of time and a lot of heartache if I could have just fast forwarded and learned that quicker rather than spending years trying to do this. If I just said, hey, let me follow around a rapper or go work in the music industry for a little bit and see what this is really like. If you want to be a lawyer, go shadow a lawyer, go shadow a doctor. Like, people will be honored to show you around that you are interested and you want to hear their story. Don't make it about you, make it about them. Keys, pro tips. But understanding what the job is actually like is such a game changer. And so for me, that is always what I tell people. It sounds great in theory. You see these people doing things and it seems amazing, but actually figure out what that day-to-day is really like. I have so many friends that wanted to be lawyers, went through undergrad, went to law school, and then became a lawyer and was like, oh wow, this actually is not great at all, and was not what they thought it was, not what it cracked up to be. Could have saved them a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of heartache if they had just tried it first, had some sort of a shadowing experience where they got a real taste of what that profession was really like. Number 2, think about your career more as a lifestyle and less of a job. I got this from Cal Newport. I love this. He talks about this as lifestyle-centered career planning. What type of a life do you want to have? If you don't know that yet, that's fine. You'll get more life experiences as you go. But if you want to live in a city, that's going to be very different than if you want to live in the mountains. If you want to live in LA, that's going to be very different than if you want to live in Germany, right? So figuring out things like location, what type of a person are you? A city person? Are you a country person? Do you like to work with a lot of people? Do you like to work alone? For me, I like solitary activities and solitary work. I'm an introvert at heart. Working on a big team with a lot of moving parts isn't fun for me. I have friends that like a fast, intense work environment, a lot of people, a lot of moving parts all the time, high stress, high reward. That doesn't do it for me. That just gets me nervous and anxious. I don't do well. Here's some questions and things to think about. 1, what type of place do you want to be in? 2, how much work do you want to do and how much of your life do you want to be work? Do you want to live your job? So for me, I like to create content. I kind of like to live my work, whether that's with music, with writing, with the channel. I like to be all in on my work. I don't like to check out, like have a 9 to 5. But my mom, I would talk to her about this all the time. She liked to say, I check out at 5, boom, I'm done. I get to go home, eat dinner, be with my family, be a mom, do her thing. Figuring out that balance there of what are those hours is really important. Do you want to work 8 to 9 and be in finance and just work your tail off and have it be everything? Or do you want to just have a nice 9 to 5 job? Maybe a part-time job and you work remote and you live in Thailand. Maybe the rest of your time you're going to eat good food, hang out with friends. Think about that work balance. How much of your life do you want to be work is really important. What's your social life like? right? What type of social events are you going to? If you like to go to a lot of shows and plays and stand up, living in the country probably isn't going to work for you. But if that doesn't resonate with you, then maybe something that's more remote might work better. Envisioning a real tangible life is really important, and then you'll be able to figure out what kind of job and work fits into those and then take it from there. And last but not least, rule number 3, to me, this was a game changer. Confidence follows competence. This pretty much means you can build a passion. Passion can be constructed. It's not necessarily found. For me, my passions have always been constructed. These have been after I've tried things. I've tried an activity, it seemed cool, I started to do it more, I practiced, I got better. As I got better, I started to enjoy it more. As I enjoyed it more, it became a passion. But it was only a passion after I actually had some semblance of skill in this. Whether this was music, whether this was writing songs, making beats, engineering, all of those things around music, these were all self-taught things, often off YouTube channels, and just trying it, getting better at it, doing it more, getting better at it, and then enjoying it more as my skills increased. When I think about my younger self, think less about what just resonates with me right now and think about how can I learn skills. And as you learn skills, you can often become more passionate about these things. So again, it comes down to trying, right? Sample things, put yourself out there a little bit, see what kind of resonates. But as you put more time into these things, as you get better at them, they become more exciting, they become more fun. The more proficiency you have at it, the more passionate you become about it. I was never great at languages. I didn't like languages until I really threw myself into Spanish. As I got better at learning Spanish, it became way much more fun to speak it because you actually got to build friendships and romance with different people. And so for me, thinking about this as a young person is how can you build skills? And then those can turn into passions, which then again, we talked about leverage before, but thinking about this more as like a trial and error period, and then really practicing and developing abilities and trusting in the process that those will actually lead you to be more passionate about whatever those things are down the line. It doesn't always work that way. Sometimes you get a degree in something you studied for 4 years and you're not passionate about it at all. There's that too. Understand if you feel lost, if you don't know what your passion is, it's fine. Don't try to find it, build it. I hope that you found that helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, like, subscribe, smash all the buttons. If you have questions, comments, concerns, link them up below. I'll do my best to get back to you. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll check you on the next one. Peace.